Hello all, this is JC3 from Is This Real? Do you want to start your own podcast? Then look no further than Buzzsprout.com. We here at Green Hour Media use Buzzsprout, and we love the team at Buzzsprout. They are all about helping you succeed. Buzzsprout gets your show listed in every major podcast platform. Follow the link in our show notes to let Buzzsprout know that we sent you. It gets you a $20 paid Amazon gift card if you sign up with a paid plan and helps support our show. Join us and over 100,000 podcasters already using Buzzsprout.com to get your message out to the world. Welcome, everybody. This is another great episode of Is This Real? And today we are live. We are live tonight as we continue our our October Halloween episodes. Tonight, as usual, I'm your host, Joe. You should know that by now with as many episodes as we have. We have, Dad as usual. What's up, Dad?
Not much. What's going on?
Not much. It's a normal Thursday night. It is Thursday, October 15th. We have Josh. Josh did an episode with us earlier with Angry Uncle.
Wait a minute, hold on. Does Josh have a last name?
Roadblock Rivera. Better?
Okay, that's better because he might someday he continues on this path of being on these broadcasts. He might want to get a hat to say, "Hi, I'm Josh Roadblock Rivera." Yes.
Oh, we could have Josh could have his own podcast. It's gonna be called The Roadblock.
Now tell him about our special guest we got tonight.
Oh, we have a very special guest like we had a couple episodes ago, and welcome back, Eric. Hi, Eric.
Hi, hello. How are you?
Good. How are you?
What up?
I'm good, yeah.
Yes, he is back with us in this live episode. We are live on Facebook, live on YouTube. And this this episode, fuck you, Josh, will be rebroadcast Sunday night on 8 o'clock on Spotify. So you can go listen to it. Tonight's episode, as I put in the live title, we're talking about Rosemary's Baby. Now, Rosemary's Baby is not a movie not a lot of people are gonna know. It's the weirdest thing. I know.
It's one of those movies where if you were a film student, you knew about it.
Yes.
Like me, but unfortunately, I never actually sat down and watched the whole thing until I saw it with you guys earlier.
Yeah, it's a creepy feeling movie. It's nothing really.
The acting feels very cheesy too, but it's like it's from the '60s, so I'm like, eh.
Okay. I'm going to school the three is because basically this movie's twice your age. Okay. This movie was done by Roman Polanski.
And we all know who Roman Polanski is.
Roman Polanski
cannot be back in the States anymore.
Right. That's an episode for whatever. But the guy was a genius when it come to making movies.
I agree.
Okay. And currently his last movie, I believe it's his last movie, was The Pianist that he made. And that movie is like one of those movies where you can't walk away from it. You have to sit and watch it. Kind of like Rosemary's Baby because it's a very slow moving movie, and we saw it today. Mm-hmm. He sets the picture, he paints the picture for you, and then the movie begins. And what he did with this movie, in my opinion, was I don't know how you guys took it, but the first time I saw the movie years ago, I'm like, wow, there's something going on here. He's painting that picture, and is there something going on with these old people? Is the husband involved? What was going on? And then
he's definitely an old school storyteller.
Yeah, he's really good at what he does.
He's good at building it up to a point and then trying to still keep your attention.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. And like we were talking about, from the technical aspect, because that's how I watch movies. Unfortunately, now, going to film school, stuff like that.
Oh, they ruined it. For us.
It ruined even for you. I know with you've watched a couple movies just looking from the technical aspect. Yeah. It's very hard to stop watching it that way. But the the way he used shadows, his shots in this movie made it more creepy.
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot of jump scares in this movie. This movie doesn't have the jump scares. It doesn't have the creepy music.
I didn't see a single jump scare, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those
the way it was shot and filmed in the
one thing I did notice though with the audio in general is the use of the live music that they had in their apartment while they were and most of it was the like I heard that song 3 different times. Fior de Lis, I think it is Fior de Elise or whatever the hell the name of that song is.
It's by Beethoven. It's very good.
Yeah.
The beginning of the movie, I know you guys you came in like 5 minutes into the movie.
Yeah.
But the beginning of the movie, remember the movie The Amityville Horror?
Yeah.
79. Well,
yeah.
That is exactly how the movie. It's the music was playing at the beginning of this movie, and what made it even more creepy was the fact that they're playing this music and they're playing it over shots of New York City, and in my opinion, the movie itself, when he painted the picture of what was going on with Rosemary and I can't think of the husband. You remember the husband's name?
Guy.
Guy.
Guy Wood something.
Okay. The building that they were living in was old, decrepit. That kind of was creepy in its own right as well. Mm-hmm. So that set him up again. You're looking at this old building.
It was a dead giveaway too, because that's why I asked you if it was New York. Because I don't know why, but apparently I pay attention to architecture and stuff like that. With the one scene in the hallway when they started walking down after I think they had dinner, I saw how high the hallway was, and I was like, that just seems like old school New York to me. That's why I asked.
Yeah, that's the building was very much a live prop in that movie.
Well, yeah, and I think it also entails with the. Again, the way the movie was shot and how the movie was shot, it was the weird angles that did it for me. Because you're looking at like the one table scene that like I was talking to you before about. Yeah, it was just weirdly angled. Like they didn't like you were talking about. They could have had the 4 people in the shot.
Yeah, typical filmmakers. You could have had all 4 people, but they
focused on 2 at a time at a weird angle, like right behind the guy's face, looking at Rosemary, and the same thing with the older wife. Focusing on the husband in the back and not focusing on her. Yeah, which that's why it just creep me the hell out. And that's one thing I love about older films is the non scare factor in it. It's just the creepy feeling of it.
A weird enthusiasm of showing how people eat, unlike real movies nowadays.
I mean, honestly, it's just good storytelling, because it's just good visual storytelling, because not everything has to be just like how you're just spoon fed.
It doesn't have to be perfect. Yeah.
And I think that's the problem with most movies these days is they spoon feed you a lot.
Okay, now let me ask you a question. Get away from the technical aspect of this. How many people when you saw the movie, did you start thinking what the hell's going on?
I mean,
from an early moment.
I mean, honestly, like we were having this conversation earlier upstairs, like just from I think in the first like 30 or 40 minutes of the movie, it kind of gives you what the movie's going to be about.
Right.
Where it just goes on with the whole like, I think was that who was that other old man that was Rose? Was that her father?
No, that was
a friend.
A friend?
That was a friend, yeah.
Yeah, when he first mentioned the whole like satanic witchcraft thing, that's when I kind of had a feeling of what the movie was going to be about. I was like very, very big, and I kind of talked to myself in Spanish. I told myself that movie's going to be about witchcraft. It's going to be about some people trying to get this woman because they're trying to have a kid. So like I feel like some crazy shit's going to happen, and then some crazy shit happened.
That's the funny thing about that. When I first saw this movie... That
was my first time watching that movie, by the way.
Yeah, when I first saw this movie, I guess I wasn't paying attention because I don't remember anything about witchcraft in the movie. And when I saw her bring out the witchcraft book and about what happened when Guy got the one actor's tie and the actor lost his sight and stuff like that. And then
from that moment instantly, like I already knew that was straight witchcraft. And on top of the because like I have family that's kind of like that tries to like look into shit like that, like brujeria and all that shit, but it's just like yeah, but and it's just like certain things like it was just like dead giveaways for me, where it's just like the fungus that was in that sphere. I knew that was like a pendant, that's like a gift that you're not supposed to be like wearing, something like that, where it's supposed to like it's gonna bring you like some type of luck, but it's gonna cause misfortune on others type thing.
Yeah, and where that part where you're saying with the pendant, where that really tied in is when she was sitting in a doctor's office and she was waiting to see the doctor.
Yeah,
and the doctor's, I guess, nurse or whatever said to her, or the doctor's got that too, and she already had the suspicion because she had her suitcase and she was ready to leave. She wanted to get out of this. She wanted to go. Yeah. And then when she was told that the doctor has this too, and the mere fact that her neighbors,
I fell asleep for a good chunk of the movie.
So basically, what happened was when she was starting to put all things together, because the one older gentleman died. Her friend died. Yeah. She was starting to put things together because she asked about, the actor who lost his sight, and if he lost something, and he's like, "Oh, I lost my tie, but me and your husband switched ties." So basically, what the husband did, he bewitched the actor.
Yeah, but you have to go back because she put two and two together because of the fact that she remembered this guy lost his glove.
Oh yeah, that's why I was getting to that.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, so the actor was bewitched by the husband, and then when her friend was I can't remember the friend's name, but when her friend was poking around,
wasn't it Birch or something like that?
Something to that.
Yeah, something to that effect. I'm looking down the thing right now while I'm talking, but her friend was poking around, and her husband came home early, which apparently he never did, and the friend lost the glove while he was trying to leave, and then literally the next day he goes into a coma, and 3 months later he dies.
Right.
So the husband bewitched the friend, and then she was putting all that together while talking to the actor who the husband bewitched for that part. So when she was leaving, because she was like, "Fuck all of this, I'm not letting nobody touch my baby," she was going to go to the doctor, which I don't know why she didn't put two and two together, because the two Minnie and Roman, who are the two older couple, they sent her to that doctor.
Right.
I would have put two and two together too.
I think she finally got the message when
she was sitting in the doctor's office.
Yeah.
And
honestly, like, again, this is probably like the Hispanic part in me. If I saw that what was the woman that killed herself? Terry. If when I saw Terry die, have that same necklace, and they're giving me the same thing, instantly my mind would have been like, no.
See, that's the part me and you missed this afternoon.
Instantly, my mind would have been like, no, I refuse to accept this.
Yeah, I don't accept anything that was
again, but that's because like I have an idea of what that stuff is, and like what dangerous supernatural stuff can come with that, but it's just like I just refuse. I would not accept that at all. I'd probably burn it.
So Eric's telling us that the movie would have been 8 minutes long.
Yes, speaking from a Puerto Rican standpoint, I know exactly what he's talking about. That's why I didn't interrupt. Yes, it would have been like 8 minutes long because we would have burned the shit and got the hell out there.
Then we would have probably we probably would have saved. We probably had like you would have called your grandma. You would have called your grandma, and then she would have come sage the house.
Exactly.
with a prayer, and she would have left the white Santeria.
Oh God, I haven't heard that in so long.
The white Santeria candle.
Yeah.
Leave it on
every night before bed. Yep.
Leave it on the entire
night. That's mostly any horror movie. That's mostly any horror movie. If there was Spanish people in that horror movie, it would have been like 10 minutes long. Paranormal Activity wouldn't even have happened. They wouldn't even have started filming.
The first whisper, they would have fucking moved out, okay?
Bruja!
No, aquí no.
But yeah, so like from that point when I knew, because I am during the movie when Hutch, it's the guy's name is Hutch.
Hutch.
When he lost his glove, I was like, I told you guys, I'm like, he's dead. Something's gonna happen to him.
Yeah, you did
he's
say that.
done.
Yeah, you called that on.
But yeah, so I think that was the like the biggest thing that when I started like, oh, there's something on, and the husband's part of it, that put 2 and 2 together. But what creeped me out the most was, and we'll talk about because if you know this movie, the people who are listening, if whoever's listening,
Viewer discretion advised.
Yeah, if you know this movie, you know about the satanic rape scene, you know about all that, and we'll get to that in a minute. But the one part is that creeped me out the most was at the end of the movie. Well, mostly towards the end, when they all literally, when she locked herself in the apartment, and then they all came in.
Yes, can we talk about that for a second? Because I think Polanski did that really well, because I did not put 2 and 2 together until we rewatched that scene, because I thought how funny it was, and that's why I mentioned the architecture, because I'm like, why the hell is that all so huge? Why does it look really big? And then I didn't put 2 and 2 together until we saw the 2 goofy fucks walk across the screen all weirdly, and that was when we put that's when we kind of figured it out, and then we actually saw like the closet and stuff in the hidden room. I was like, that totally did not catch on to that.
And then I put 2 and 2 together with how they got her into that rape scene.
Yeah.
Was because of that room. They just took her through there, which I'm like, they're gonna like in the back of my head, they're gonna move a whole entire woman, like they're gonna drag her down 3 flights of stairs to a room just because to me that looked like a basement when that happened.
Yeah, it did.
But I'm like, I have a question though. Does that back part go into the rent of the apartment? Is that part of the rent? Like,
unless you know about it.
I'm just saying,
like a real estate agent.
No, I'm just saying, like there's a secret doorway in the closet that leads to 4 or 5 more rooms and a whole hallway. Like,
Joe,
is that part of the rent?
Joey, everyone was in on it. I don't think she even knew how much the rent was.
I think her rental status is not really part of the show.
Well,
the guy was a freaking actor, bro. How much money could he have really been making?
I tell you one thing. John Cassavetes, the guy who played the husband.
Guy.
I just
basic ass.
Right?
No offense to him or his family. I just don't like him as an actor. To me, first of all, he looks too much like Roy Scheider. And
I thought he looked like Al Pacino.
No, he looks to me. Well, he was supposed to get the part in Jaws.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but then they brought in Roy Scheider. And he's like they're fucking twins.
Well, that's why.
Roy Scheider's a much better actor. They did a better choice for him to be in thing. I just don't like Cassavetes. I've seen him in a couple of movies, and to me, I saw him. If anybody saw the movie The Incubus back in 1982, oh my god. Oh my!
Did not see that movie.
That's the first movie I ever went back to the box office and demanded my money back because it was that bad. That was you can get 3 fifth graders together and write a better movie and produce it, film it, edit it, do whatever than what they did on that movie. That movie was fucking horrible. It's all about a demon and oh my god, it was all over the place. But then again, it was 1980s, and every 2 minutes you had another movie coming out. It was like every 2 minutes there was another horror movie / slasher movie / teenagers in the forest movie.
Well, I mean, if you
80s was just shot.
Go back and listen to our Green Hour Media, and we did, and at this week's episode was about the slasher genre.
Oh yeah, you mentioned
and all
that.
that.
Yeah.
So go back and listen to that, and you can hear what the hell Dad was talking about, because we literally ran down the list of from Halloween in 1978. All the way down to like 1995 was like the bulk of slasher movies.
Yeah.
And in the like the mid 80s, you had 50 to 60 movies a year come out just in that slasher. Like, there's a guy with a knife going around, stuff like
Valentine's Day. I mean, anybody see the original Valentine's Day?
I saw the remake.
Okay, the original one was they're running down to something to do with.
Some mine or something like that.
Yeah, it was a carnival, and then they hid the guy was in the mine, and I remember he was hiding in there, and he had half an arm or something. From what I remember, but that was one of them. Sleepaway Camp 2 with Pamela Springsteen. At the end, turned out she's actually a boy. I mean,
we were talking about that on there too. But yeah,
she's a man.
But for this movie, like I said, it's that the early 60s, not early 60s, late 60s. the creep factor for me was there. It's just, you know, if you're looking for a horror scary, like, you're not going to get that. You're going to get more of a like slow move. You have to think about it.
It's a very thriller suspenseful type of movie.
I was going to say that. I would consider it more of that.
You definitely have to you definitely have to actually sit there and watch it. If you don't watch it, you're going to lose it.
Yeah, it's not an Exorcist type movie. I can't even say it was horror, because at the end of the movie, you knew what was going on. And, you know, when they start running around, the old people start saying, Hail Satan, or whatever. You know, to me,
best part of the movie, in my opinion.
Yeah, that was probably the climax of the movie. But to me, the movie was okay. It was slow.
No, the climax. Okay, we'll get into this now. The climax of the movie was the rape scene. It had to be.
I don't know. Like, to me,
because it's creepy.
Yeah.
And like,
I think at that point it's just like he kind of just like how your guys are saying how he painted that photo. It's kind of like at that point you kind of just like, okay, boom, slap. This is what's happening.
Yeah.
Now here's what happens after all that.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was really solidified. Well, depending on how you watch it and how your perspective is, I don't think you could really solidify that until like you start to see her look into the whole witchcraft stuff.
See, and that's where I fell asleep for all that.
Yeah,
because I woke up at the end at that whole Hail Satan part.
Because even back then, the way they pictured it, it all really did seem like a dream. Like the only thing that kind of made it a little bit concrete was the fact that she woke up with scratches, and he said that we actually had sex last night.
To be honest, the husband during, if you want to call it a dream sequence, turned around and said, "Oh, she's waking up," and then the old lady, Minnie, turned around and said, "Oh, she won't remember a thing. Her eyes are open, but she won't remember a thing."
Yeah. It was,
which, I mean, when you turn around, and it pissed me off though, because I called that shit too when like the husband came back with the pudding, and she was like, "Oh, it's chalky." I'm like, "Yep, there's drugs in it."
Yeah. At that point, I was just like, "Yeah."
My ass would be like, "No, I ain't having no
Spike.
more, motherfucker, no more." But yeah, so that rape scene to me is creepy, and it, of course, Satan came out of hell apparently to rape her, and like,
it's horrible.
Which, can I say, I was confused for a moment because I thought her husband was supposed to be Satan.
Weird. I thought her husband like put that shit on or something like that.
I didn't realize it was two separate things.
He's gonna come into
Like
the
they
bedroom with a whole demon, demon costume.
Yeah.
Hey, honestly, that's what I thought.
I thought it was him that was supposed to be that. That's why, for some reason, it just, I don't know, maybe the way I was looking at it,
looking at him, because I'll be honest, he does look like that type of, like, he could play that devilish character.
That's what I thought with the way they portrayed him. I was thinking of like, what is it, Devil's Advocate, where they had that person actually, they actually had the main that one protagonist actually be Satan or whatever the case was.
I don't know, for that scene though, I don't ever want to keep watching it because I don't need to see all those naked old people.
I agree with you on that one.
Yes.
Which when you text me that about how you were aroused during that scene, how were you aroused during that scene, Eric?
Because I was first of all, fuck you, bro.
What?
No gray area there.
You didn't give an explanation. You just told me to go fuck myself. That's not an explanation.
Well,
we'll be back after a quick break.
Hey, Ryan. Hi, this is Sarah Palin.
Ryan, Donald Trump Jr.
Hogs to win seal. Hey, everybody, I want y'all to check out a fellow Marines podcast.
My name is Ted Nugent, and I got a call from my buddy Ryan F. Samuels, and he wants me to tell you that he's a working hard, playing all-American son of a who is celebrating God, family, country.
Welcome to the Ryan Samuels Show, one of the top political podcasts in the United States, where we have a healthy distrust for government and mainstream media. The Ryan Samuels Show is a raw, unfiltered look at American politics.
when I was watching that movie, because I was just watching it from like every point of view, and I was just like, yo, bro, what in the fuck is going on? And then I'm just like there's something like weirdly
erotic
off about this. It's just something that's off, and then it's just like
I can see
and then
that
I'm
from
just
you,
like, and then I'm
Josh.
just like, and then I'm just telling myself, I'm just like, what? I'm just like, no, this is not fucking right, bro. Like this is fucking wrong as fuck,
Look
bro.
down at
Like
your dick like, stop it.
What is going on, bro? Is that him? Is that a fucking demon? What is happening?
Stop getting it. Stop it.
Wow.
I think it was just a naked redhead.
I don't
for him.
judge. Really, redhead's your thing?
Honestly, for the record, Rosemary can get it before the haircut.
I mean, come on. In the entitled, dream sequence, she couldn't. Well, I don't know if it was intentional. They couldn't make up their fucking minds of whether they wanted her dressed or not because she went through a wardrobe change, and every time she did, she was naked beforehand.
Yeah, she physically didn't do much for me. I mean, to me, it's like, she had no tits.
There was nothing, but I was just like, you know what? You still got it. You still got it.
Hey, at 3 o'clock in the morning, I mean,
Hey, no one's ugly at 3 o'clock in the morning.
At that point.
Got the point.
That's a 3-beer. Anyway.
Oh, well, okay. So do you know how much the budget for this movie was, though?
I don't know, but the budget for this fucking broadcast just hit the shitter.
Fuck you. The budget for this movie was...
Tell us, Joe, what is it?
$3.2 million.
Really?
It doesn't seem that way, though. That's
does it? Because if it was the only thing that you could say they spent
isn't that still a lot of money, though, for the 60s?
Oh, 1968? That was a lot of money.
That was way too much money. That's what I'm saying. The only thing you can sit there and say they spent that much money on was probably the dream sequence.
Or the actors.
Oh, yeah.
No. Think about it. It's probably the permits to do all that shit in the city if they really did do all that shit in the city.
Yeah, I think it was shot completely in and around New York. You got to understand, too, you had Mia Farrow in it, who was, at the time, a really, her...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
She's Hollywood royalty. Her father was involved in the movies. You also had Maurice Evans in that movie. Now, Maurice Evans went on... Actually, this was on
the old woman, right?
Who?
That's the old woman, right?
The guy, Hutch, the guy who played Hutch. He was...
The man?
Yeah, that's
the best friend.
The English guy.
Yeah.
He was just... he had just finished the movie Planet of the Apes. He played Dr. Zeus, or Zeus. Okay. And he was brilliant in that role. He really was. And... when he was done with that, he did this movie. But he was also an old English actor, and I think he was a Shakespearean actor, actually.
Yeah, and
he looks like he could do some James Bond type of thing or something.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at especially for someone like that,
like an Alfred Batman vibe.
Yeah, for someone like that, he would definitely bring in a lot of money because of coming off of Planet of the Apes. That movie, but
it was huge.
Guess how much it made?
That
from then to now.
Or just then?
Just then.
Just then?
5.
I'm going to say 12 million.
5 mil.
Okay, so it's just saying box office is not giving me the exact year what it made in a year.
Right.
Altogether, it said it made $33.4 million.
Wow.
So it made 10 times its budget.
Maybe that's with the sale of DVDs, maybe, and video cassettes and stuff like that. You think?
Or probably.
Yeah, I mean,
back then those were expensive.
Because originally, I mean, that movie, I can't see that movie being that big at the box office. As far as, would you sit in a movie theater for 2.5 hours watching it? I don't think I could do it. To me, it was very slow.
Well, it depends on I guess it depends on the time period. 1968. Now, for when I look at that movie for 1968.
Could have been how they advertised it too.
Well, but if you look at that, I'm talking about the movie in general.
Yeah.
So you had a rape scene, you had naked people,
naked old people, by the way.
Yeah, just nakedness in general for 1968.
Nude.
You're talking about a very what's the word? I forgot.
Groundbreaking?
Not groundbreaking, but for that time period, it's controversial.
Again, it's 1968, and I'll give you a little backstory.
Yeah, we saw her boobs, bro.
Yeah, 1968.
She had nice nipples.
Basically,
they were nice, right?
The barriers that we were facing as a country in 1968 were kind of broken, and we had just come out of the Kennedy assassination, which basically took the innocence of the country, and at that point, we weren't innocent anymore. If you could gun down the president, And,
well, you had the Kennedy assassination. You had the Bob Kennedy assassination.
Well, that's the thing. 1968, you had
and MLK.
You had Martin Luther King being assassinated. You had Robert Kennedy be assassinated. There was other luminaries that were assassinated as well. But you had riots. You had the convention in Chicago, the Democratic Convention in Chicago.
So basically what you have now.
I was about to say, yeah, so 68 is 2020.
Right, what you're seeing now is basically what you saw then, minus the COVID. And barriers were broken then. At that point, no one cared that Mia Farrow was flashing her B cups in a $3 million movie. At that point, it was okay, fine. Because you had the counterculture at that point. You had Charlie Manson. You had the hippies and Haight-Ashbury in San Francisco. You had all of this stuff going on. You had the 2 assassinations of both Kennedy and MLK. And then, the government lying to the people. The government was all, it was a fucking mess. And 1968 was the culmination of a lot of bullshit. So this movie fell under the radar as far as no one give a shit. No one would care. We still didn't have, pornography still wasn't prevalent at the time. That didn't come till later. I think it was 1970 when like Deep Throat and all that stuff came out. It could be. No, I think it was 73. But the innocence of our country was taken when Kennedy was killed, and it just snowballed from there. And so nobody really gave a shit. So as far as being groundbreaking, I think it was just going along with the flow. I think it was just going along with the times. I really do.
We'll be back after a quick break.
Hello, nerds. Come listen to the History Nerds United podcast, and let's make history fun again. We interview today's best authors, whether they are established Pulitzer Prize winners or someone debuting their first book. Let us show you that history is not a boring class you took in high school, but a place where the best stories come from. And we don't just cover history, we also love to chat about true crime, biographies, memoirs, and so much more. So head on over to History Nerds United and let us introduce you to your new favorite book and learn the story behind the story.
History Nerds United.
Yeah, it feels like it does because it's like for 60s, it's just like the whole like satanic cult thing, witchcraft, like be a good housewife.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm reading from I'll give you the reception from like newspapers. So the New York Times said the movie, although it is pleasant, doesn't seem to work on any of its dark or powerful items. I think it is because if it is almost too extremely plausible. The quality of the young people's lives seemed like the quality of lives that no one's even. What the fuck? Sorry. The quality of the young people's lives seems the quality that one knows, even to the point of finding old people next to her to avoid and lean on. One gets very annoyed that they don't catch on sooner. Exactly what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Like, she should have caught on extremely sooner.
Well, she played a very naive girl.
I would say, yeah, between being naive and pregnant, I think there was a lot of things going on. So I think they actually
When's the draw between naive and stupid, though?
No, you want to call her stupid, that's fine. I mean, she married, she later on to marry Woody Allen, so, I mean, come on.
I'm not talking about the actors, I'm talking about the character, Dad.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm having a momentary lapse of reason. I'm sorry.
Variety said several exhilarating milestones are achieved in Rosemary's
English
Baby.
is not our strong point on the show, folks.
You. An excellent film version of Ira.
That's why I started calling it
Ira Levin's diabolical chiller novel. So this comes out of a book. This movie. Writer-director Roman Polanski has triumphed in his first U.S.-made pick. The film holds attention without explicit violence or gore. Farrow's performance is outstanding. So you had
it's outstanding. It sounds so fucking Times New Roman, bro.
Yo, like what? So you have two.
You just described someone as a fucking font in Microsoft Word. Seriously?
Yeah.
I don't question anymore.
I'm just making sure.
I don't question anymore. You have no idea.
I'm confirming. Okay.
But yeah, so They were nominated for a lot of awards, though.
I'm sorry, we have to go back on this, but it's just like, think about it, though. It's just like, you're Times New Roman. You're as basic as it can get. You're bland, bro. You're size 12 font.
Eric could go back to chilling.
Wow.
So one, I'll just get back to my reading. Best Supporting Actress for Ruth Gordon.
Great Ruth Gordon. I love her. I love Ruth Gordon.
Polanski did not win the best screenplay. He did
downplayed.
He was downplayed. He did get the best foreign director, and the best foreign actress went to Mia Farrow.
So why is this guy not allowed in America?
I think, didn't he fuck his niece or some shit like that?
Whoa! This guy's a freaking movie genius, and he's out here freaking
he was
breeding with his freaking niece and shit. We must keep this genius in our blood. Okay, freaking guy.
He had rape charges against him, and he fled to I don't know what country.
He fled. That's what made it worse.
And and then he never came back to the States, and he still hasn't been back.
They said rape? I'm out of here.
They will arrest him when he gets off the plane.
Okay, so on March 11th, 1977, 3 years after
that wasn't my birthday.
3 years after making Chinatown, Polanski was arrested by the Beverly Wilshire Hotel for the sexual assault of 13-year-old Samantha Gailey. Gailey had modeled for Polanski during a Vogue photo shoot the previous day around a swimming pool at the Bel Air home of Jack Nicholson.
Whoa, that runs even deeper, bro. Like, so what's Jack Nicholson doing having freaking 13-year-olds in his house?
I'm gonna tell you something, and you know what?
You know what? This can be a whole other podcast because the real answer to all that is
Hollywood.
Let's go with Rosemary's Baby. Yeah.
What am I gonna say here?
Hollywood Elite.
Yeah, the rabbit hole really runs deep there, and you're gonna see.
Or just like Anthony says about Clinton, allegedly.
Yeah, you're gonna
allegedly.
I want to make it home tonight, Joe. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
With all the bullshit that's out there right now. Holy
allegedly.
Fuck. Are you kidding me? Anyway, back to, like you said, back to Rosemary's Baby. Was anybody afraid? Were you afraid? At any point did you feel fear?
I didn't feel fear, but I was definitely, like I said, I think with the way he's definitely an old school storyteller. Teller.
There you go.
Thank you. English is hard.
English.
It definitely, I guess, kept my attention. It didn't scare me, but it definitely kept my attention. I wanted to know what was going on.
Eric?
Yeah, for the most part.
Because of Bruja.
Yeah, the whole Bruja part, I was just like, I kind of caught on to what was happening real early, so I'm just like, no to all of that.
Okay,
but I'm gonna keep watching to see what happens because, like, obviously some crazy shit happens, and she gets freaking raped by fucking Satan himself, and then she has a freaking kid.
What's the word he's using? Bruja.
Bruja.
All right, for my lack of Espanol, what the flying fuck does that mean?
Bruja means witchcraft. Yeah.
Bruja means witch, but like
witch, yeah.
Brujeria is like witchcraft.
Okay, all right.
I just love that word.
Were you afraid at all, Joe?
I was not afraid. At some points, I did feel a little bit bored, but as I said earlier, as like a film person, I enjoyed watching the different angle of shots that he used. Mm-hmm. But as far as like the story itself, I felt could have used more in it.
Right.
But like it really like.
It did its job. Honestly, it really did its job. Like just for
like in real life, if I come across witches, yeah, I'm gonna be fucked up. But like,
and honestly, I feel like he did a really good job of doing that too. Because like, if he was keeping it a little bit realistic, it would show that something like this takes time. Like stuff like that doesn't. I mean, movies exaggerate a whole lot, but like something like that does.
Movies exaggerate time.
It's like what my brother says with the angry uncle. He turns around we'll be watching a horror movie, and some horror movies can get lame. They're really slow, And
I want a little horror in my horror movie.
I want a little horror in my horror movie. Yeah. So to me that's kept playing over and over again today. That we're gonna get some horror in this fucking movie. And then at the end, I don't think I was afraid. I don't think it was any fear. It was like, we knew that was gonna happen. I mean, I seen the movie years ago, so I knew basically.
It's called Rosemary's Baby. Something crazy was gonna happen.
Yeah. It was to me. It was a good movie at the time, I guess.
Now they say there's a franchise. There's more than one of these movies.
There's a film series. Yes.
Oh, there is.
Yes. It's hold on. Let me get back to not IMDb.
Are they tying this in maybe with the what the hell's the name of that movie with Gregory Peck in it?
No,
The Omen.
Oh, I don't think so.
They should.
Yeah, I know what you're
they
talking
should.
That would make perfect sense.
Exactly. Rosemary
That
Baby.
would make perfect sense.
He escaped. They had operation on his eyes. He's back to normal, and he turns up in a fucking suburban
Adrian
house.
does sound like Damien. Think about it. Adrian does sound like Damien a lot too.
It's an actual film series, the TV film series they filmed.
I like our conspiracy better.
2014. I'm getting, if the fucking internet would like.
Now The Omen.
I have not seen The Omen.
Oh,
I think I seen the remake, and one part that still like haunts the fuck out of me is the part when she like looked down and then the mirror she like looks up and then like the devil's like right behind her.
Mm-hmm.
That part kind of like scared the fuck out of me.
The original had so many jump scares, and it was slow moving at times, but. The one scene where the nanny says, "I'm Damien, I'm doing this for you," and next thing you know, she's hanging from a rope out of a window.
Oh shit! Yeah, I think I remember that one.
It's a really, really good movie.
So the Rosemary's Baby TV series, it was a mini series, 2 episodes. It's 2 hours and 50 minutes long.
Whack.
It was produced by NBC.
Whack.
So it's one of those TV NBC movies.
Whack.
That starred Zoe Saldana and Patrick J. Adams.
I like our conspiracy better. Let's just run with that. The internet is wrong, by the way. Let's just go with that because I can make up anything that I want on the internet. And I'm just going to go with that Rosemary's Baby is the prequel to The Omen. Case closed.
Can we talk about a little bit of a disappointment, though? I don't know about you guys. The movie's called Rosemary's Baby, but you don't even catch a glimpse of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if you like see the baby because like I remember because I was asleep for the most part.
Almost zoomed in on the baby cassette that was shaking, and you see her like go in, and she kind of pulled like the veil a little bit so that way she can see the baby more the second time.
Yeah.
And I thought that they would actually focus and maybe show like a goat baby or something.
Yeah, I was under the impression.
Goat baby.
Yeah, like something.
I was under the impression that when the guy goes, he's got his father's eyes, and that was the picture of the baby. But then when you had said no, that's a picture of the devil or whatever.
Yeah,
that made more sense.
They reused the same picture of the devil's eyes from the rape scene.
That made more sense. So, but.
Because they didn't even look at the baby. After they said the baby's eyes, she was already, I think she was in the middle of the room, right?
What I found creepy, the creepiest part of that movie is at the end when she's walking in with the knife in her hand.
Yeah.
And, they're looking at her and everything, but...
Only one person screamed?
No, the imagery of a bassinet... with a black veil, with all black, and then an upside down cross hanging there.
Yeah,
that scared the fuck out of me because in my mind,
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, in my mind, that to me says these fucking people were for real.
Yeah, they were serious.
They were serious people, right down to the inverted cross and everything in black, just like you read about with Satanists and whatever. That scared the shit out of me for that one. Not scared, but it hit home a little bit because it's like. Wow, that's amazing.
It was serious.
Turn your shit off, bro.
And it was kind of crazy until I saw the slight disappointment that I call the one little racist point.
Oh yeah, the token Asian.
Whole room full. Like I don't like to get racist because I have friends of all different ethnicities. But when you see a room full of nothing but white people who are basically Satanists, if you don't know the movie, are basically Satanists and are like happy about this baby of Satan being born, and then they pan all the way to the right and you see one Asian with a camera.
Hey, you know what? Even Satanists need a photographer.
That ruined that whole shot for me. Like, if I think about it now, like at the first I was like, okay, whatever, he's probably Satanist. I don't really care. But thinking about it now, it's like it ruins the whole scene for me.
Like I said,
you could never get away with that now in a movie. Oh, no.
Even Satanisms and Satanists, they need a photographer, okay?
And it had to be an Asian?
It's 1968, bro.
Well, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, and I'm not gonna. I'm gonna say this, and I know people are gonna piss people off, but I don't mean this racially or whatever.
Yes, you do.
But no, I do not, because hey, if that somehow was a caterer and he was black, and he was sitting there carving the watermelon. Would that be racist?
Yeah, I would
it's
have
the
said
same fucking thing.
Yeah, I would have said that.
Or if he's sitting there with a bucket of KFC, that would be the same fucking
First of all,
thing.
they would have had to pay KFC, and their budget would have been a lot more.
Josh is gone. I just killed Josh.
I mean, wait, before we continue, was KFC around in 68?
Yes, it was, actually.
Oh, my God, now I hate you.
We used to go in
Really
Hampton.
was? I thought that shit was like in the 50s or something. No, yeah, so it was, yeah.
That's earlier
Okay,
there,
Josh.
Eric.
Okay, Eric.
I'm not going to go where KFC was, but he used to have me being Hampton right now.
We're not getting paid by KFC, so
No,
fuck
what's-
KFC.
let's stop.
Popeyes is there now. They used to be KFC years ago.
Oh, shit.
Well,
Yeah.
But yeah, so
But yeah, that would be the same point, though.
overall, this movie to me was okay. It like as far as filming wise, like for film, like if you want to watch as a film student,
I was gonna say
film
that.
geek in me would give it like a solid 7, but like for like entertainment factor, I'd probably give it like a 4.
Yeah, I
from
agree
a
with
film student standpoint, it's definitely worth at least one watch.
Okay, since we just rated that one, let's go back into a previous episode. Let's rate The Exorcist, and let's rate The Shining. Start with The Exorcist.
and we could also rate
From
the,
from the film geek perspective and like
from
a
both.
detective.
From both.
film geek perspective. Okay, I'll start with that. I'll give
He cut your ass right off. Did you see that?
Hold on. I'll give that a
Rudest host on the planet.
Nah, because I had to think about it. Because like I remember watching The Shining once and then The Exorcist once.
See, like I know how his brain works. All right, I've been with him.
I think he's coming out of the closet. I'm not sure.
No,
Pistol
Called me his
Blacks, now we got the
he
gays
called me
on
his
our ass.
heterosexual life mate on the last one. bro.
heterosexual means the hetero. Like
We know. Get to
know.
the fucking point.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
So-
What would you rate Exorcist? Go.
from a film aspect, like a film student, I
Yes,
would give it a,
we are, yes.
a 6.5, 7. Like it wasn't perfectly shot, and there's little things that could be done to make it better. Like the re-edit of it was a little bit better. I like the when he added stuff to it, it gave it more of a thickness and more of a base for the storyline. As far as horror, I know a lot of people, as you and I have discovered, turn around and say, "Oh, it's not that scary." For me, it's a 10. As far as like the entertainment and horror, it scared the fuck out of me. It still does. I know a lot of people, Mom, Teresa, you. A lot of people turn around. It's okay. It's not that
I will
scary.
only honestly, in my defense, like I'll honestly give it a solid 6 in both because I'm watching it for the first time, so I'm not giving it a full analytical perspective on both. But it's just
You're
like,
not
I'm just trying
engrossing
to get a first glimpse of what this movie's about, or like why people like this movie so much. So I'm trying to look at it from both perspectives. But like I have to watch it at least 3 times just for me to like.
Which one are you talking about? The Exorcist?
The Exorcist.
Yeah, the Exorcist. We're just on the Exorcist.
The Shining. From a film geek perspective, I'll give that one like a 7, 8 because like that one was like. It was a very suspenseful, creepy thing that like led up to like him just going nuts.
It was shot very beautifully too.
And I like and I like the way that the colors. It was a lot of.
I think too, with something like The Shining, put that up against Rosemary's Baby, and the dead spots in Rosemary's Baby were kind of boring.
Yeah.
Her not taking the pills.
I mean,
or
did you fall asleep
eating
during The
pudding.
Shining?
I did not. I actually remember staying up the entire time.
Exactly.
The dead spots that weren't horrific in The Shining were some of the spots where you're going, what the fuck is he doing?
Yeah.
This is kind of creepy, man.
My favorite dead spot in The Shining is when he's bouncing the ball on the wall.
Yeah.
When he's doing that, I'm like, what the fuck? He's playing wall ball.
That goes back. That kind of perspective goes back to when I say to you, when I'm down the shore and I'm on the boardwalk in January at night.
Yeah.
You look around and go, there's not a soul on this boardwalk, and you're saying to yourself, that's pretty fucking creepy.
Yeah,
because you flash forward yourself to July and you got 30,000 people on it or whatever it is. But I look at it this way and go, wow, it's all mine. I can do whatever the fuck I want on it, just like he could do in that hotel at that point. Yeah. It's all his. You know what I mean? He can do what he wants. And yeah, that's a good point, Joe. How about you?
Exorcist, it was ruined for me because of my parents.
It's a scary movie.
Yeah, it was a scary movie. I wasn't allowed to
Scary
see.
Movie. Scary Movie or Scary Movie 2 ruined it.
Oh, no, because honestly, I think I saw it before I saw the scary movies.
Okay.
So, when I was a kid, my parents didn't let me watch it, so they just told me it was scary. So I just, moved on with my life. And then going back and actually watching it, I think being older kind of ruined it for me because I saw a whole bunch of other movies and stuff like that, and I think I might have had an idea of what it was in my head before I actually saw it in its entirety. But legitimately, the part that did scare me, and I will admit this, and I did before, was the part where she was crawling down the fucking stairs. Scared the living daylights out of me.
Yeah.
But
you and 100 million other people.
Yeah,
exactly.
So from like a regular person,
I had to get rid of my underwear. I couldn't take it back. I couldn't even watch it. I couldn't wash it at that point. I tried washing it. Nothing was going to work.
From a normal person standpoint, I think entertainment value, yeah, it's definitely about like a 6 or 7. For my film geekness, I would give it like a 6, just because I would critique probably the same way Joey did with the footage, the way it was done, and everything like that.
I mean, honestly, like in stuff like that too, you also got to take in consideration like the time that it was shot in too.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I gave the. I'll give the original like a 6, but I'll give the re-edit, the director's cut, like a 7.5.
I don't think I've caught that one yet. That's
the director's cut is with the crawling.
With the crab walk.
Yeah, is with the crab walk.
That's the one I saw.
Because if you watch the original,
yeah,
it does have its boring parts.
Okay. Yeah.
And as far as like editing, there are some weird cuts that they fixed in the director's cut.
Yeah.
And adding more scenes into it gave it more of a creepy feel.
Right.
All right. I will definitely have to rewatch it then. Probably.
What did you think of The Shining?
The Shining, for me, I think it's an 8 both ways. Both ways. Film geek wise, I love it because of what the fuck's his name? The one that made it.
Jack Nicholson? Oh.
No.
The director, Dad.
Yes.
Stanley Kubrick.
Thank you. Yes, I am a fan of his, and I feel like with that movie, every shot was intentional. I don't think there was any fuck ups in that movie whatsoever.
Oh yeah, it goes back to what we were saying in the last podcast.
Yeah, so watching it,
going with 8 because nothing is perfect.
Well, I mean, yeah, it was an older movie, but one, I'm also a fan of old school Jack Nicholson as well. So entertainment value, that was a hit for me anyway.
Storm.
Yeah, exactly. Like it was the way Jack Nicholson was back then is my definition of like insanity, and I just love it. So like, entertainment value definitely. Film geek, yes, because like I said, Kubrick, everything he did in there was completely intentional. I love every shot in the composition and everything like that. The creepiness of like the long hallways, and that for me made it at least a good solid 8 or anywhere close. It maybe even could be higher if I had actually sat there and rewatched it again, because it brought me back to when my parents were gypsies in Pennsylvania, because we never fucking stayed in one place for too long. We lived in an old renovated.
You're a fucking gypsy?
Yes, I'm a gypsy.
I didn't know that.
Not by blood, just by the fact that we can't stay in one fucking place for too long. Anyway,
send your donations to.
Let me barter with you.
No. We at one point, I hate fucking all of them.
Roadblock Incorporated.
What I used to say, like a roadblock. That sounds like more of a roadway.
I apologize to any gypsies hearing this.
What I used to say, the broke, poor, and Puerto Rican fund. Do you want to donate to that? Anyway, no, my parents, we as a family, me, my sister, my dad, and my mom, we actually did at one point live inside of a renovated funeral home. And what they did is they turned it into.
Fuck that.
I think it was there was a basement, a first floor it was actually converted into 2 separate apartments, and then there was also a second floor. But it wasn't like completely renovated. Like there was one big hallway that separated our apartment, the back apartment, and then the stairs.
Yes.
And then the stairs that went upstairs, and they even kept the fucking vending machines that were in the hallway there when we moved in. So that brought me back to that when I was watching The Shining.
He's the kid from Haunting in Connecticut.
Yep.
All right, yeah, I guess.
Holy shit!
It brought me back to that, so I think that like solidified, like played on
home?
like old
Funeral home?
Oh, a funeral home. I thought you said a fuel home. I was like,
no,
a
funeral.
No, he lived in a funeral home.
It was
Holy
a
shit,
renovated
that's
funeral
different.
home. Yeah,
That's different.
Yeah, there was 2 apartments on
It's
the
different from
in
a fuel home.
Yeah,
Because I was like, what the fuck is a fuel home? And I was just, it was like a vending machine. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, in the hallway, it was.
Go back to like a vending machine, big fucking deal.
Go back to Schilling, Eric. Seriously, go back to Schilling.
Hey, Joe, what did you think about it? Thanks for asking, guys.
So yeah, it brought me back to that, and that kind of played on some old little fears because, like, the one time I literally jetted down the hallway to buy a soda and then jetted back to my house. So that kind of reminded me of back then seeing, what was it, little Danny, playing in the hallway, do the.
Now that I think about it, I should have fucking got a vending machine for my house. The way these fuckers drink fucking soda, I could have made a fortune.
Yeah, you probably could.
I could be living in Beverly Hills, man.
You still could.
Yeah,
I think I'm going to do that. Yes, Pepsi.
Okay, Dad, what did you think?
First, The Exorcist, I'm going to give that, for its horror value, I'll give it a 10. A solid 10, because in my opinion, I will...
Keep your voice on the mic, friend.
I'm sorry. In my opinion, I always say that The Exorcist is probably the scariest movie I've ever seen. As far as the technical thing, I'm not you guys. You guys are all film majors or whatever. I'm just a guy that plops down $12 and goes to a movie. But I will tell you this. From the Exorcist standpoint, as far as the filming and the position of the movie, and it was groundbreaking at its time. I lived through it, so I can tell you, when you see grown men that watch the movie and won't go into a darkened room by themselves because of this movie and the effect that it had on the country at the time. Literally, this country, that's all you talked about. You didn't. Now, to me, I was 13 at the time when this came out.
And Deep Throat.
I was 13 at the time, and
talk about that, Joe.
That movie. God, that was like, I had a giant crush on Linda Blair. Still do.
You
still do.
That's the girl. That's the woman that broke her spine, right?
No,
that's the chick that played the demon that played Reagan.
Right.
Oh, you were 13. Okay.
Right. I didn't see that movie. Now again, I didn't see that movie till I was maybe 17. And the reason why that is because we didn't have video cassettes back then. I mean, right now you guys can watch it on, you can watch it on your ball sack if you want.
Whoa.
We have We have, you guys got every technology. We didn't have that.
Hey, Elon Musk is not there yet. We've had that conversation and he's working on it, okay? Elon, I know you're listening.
If you missed the movie and it was out of the thing, you weren't going to see it again unless it was on late night TV, and they weren't putting an Exorcist on TV at any given time. Yeah. So when I saw the movie the first time, I saw it with my grandfather, and it was just him and I. And to me, it wasn't scary because I read about it over the years. I knew what to expect. And he just made a joke of the whole fucking thing. I'm sitting there going, this guy's pissing me off. I want to be afraid. I want to experience this. It wasn't until I bought the DVD of the director's cut when I actually got into the movie itself.
And then you changed your underwear.
And really, because when nobody, and I said this on our last podcast, nobody was expecting that crab walk. Yeah. Because when she hung up the phone and she turned around and here's she comes, that freaked me out. So the technical aspect, I give it a 10 because I'm going to lump in the technical with the time and how they didn't put the crab walk in because at the time they didn't have a way of CGIing the wires out of it. So I'm going to give it a 10. Horror wise, definitely a 10. Okay, The Shining, I'm going to give it a 10 for horror because I love that suspense horror, Jack Nicholson. Yeah. Maybe the ugliness of Shelley Duvall. She was pretty fucking homely in that, like olive oil. No offense to Shelley Duvall. She's a great actress. Not just somebody.
She looked like she had to look a weird facial thing going on.
I think they did that to her now because you see pictures of her now or videos of her now. She's a pretty good looking woman.
Plastic surgery.
Yeah, well, I guess.
That money helps, right?
The technical aspect of The Shining, I'm going to give it a 6. And the reason I say that, and I'm not a major, there's certain inconsistencies in that movie that they just don't explain. And the one being the biggest one is when Jack Nicholson's character's in the Overlook and he's walking towards Stuart Ullman's office. He has to go make a left, go in a room, and then make a right. But what they're showing you is straight ahead, people were walking like this, going, to and from a hallway. walking in the hallway. Now, when Jack Nicholson makes the left and then right there's a door, he makes the right. When you go into Stuart Ullman's room, there's a window. That window should be open to the hallway that these people were going through. But, I mean, I know it's mediocre or whatever, but it's a big deal because it really wasn't consistent. And that's part of the stuff, some of the stuff. And another scene is when little Danny's playing on the floor. Now, the rug in that movie had a distinct pattern to it.
Yeah.
And in the one scene where he's playing on the floor and he's playing with his toys, the rug is going one way. He's sitting on a rug and it's going this way. The very same scene, but from a different angle, he's sitting here and the ball rolls to him on the ground out of nowhere.
Okay, I remember.
But if you look at the context of the rug, it's completely different.
Also, like the rug is flipped upside down or something.
It's inverted.
Yeah,
like it was this way. Now it's this way. It's weird. I mean, you picked that up immediately. So those two things.
Maybe it goes to like how Robach was saying that like maybe like he did that intentionally.
I don't know, but with Kubrick, you never know. Yeah. But I didn't like the continuity of the movie. There were some parts where like, no, this doesn't fit in. For a creep factor, I'm going to give it a 10. The Exorcist, again, one of my all-time favorites. I'm going to give it a 10. So, but Rosemary Baby, for me, technical-wise, I just don't. I don't know.
It's not up there.
Yeah, to me,
for me, it was
a 4.
For me, it was better technically than it was on the horror or creep factor.
A horror for me, I give it a 2. And that's being conservative. It wasn't creepy to me. It wasn't. It was a must see. You had to see this movie. You had to see it, good or bad. To say, hey, I see it.
Honestly, I'm gonna sound like such an old man right now. It sounds like one of those late night. You're on your clicker and you're just oh shit, this looks Rosemary's okay. What's this about? And then you're just like.
I mean, I would rather have the scene make a movie, the making of Rosemary's Baby.
Movie, bro.
How did But to me, that would have been boring as well. But anyway, what are we up to now, Joe?
No, we're close to an hour, so I think we'll end it here. And everybody listening, again, go listen to our podcasts on Spotify.
Go listen. Jedi mind tricks.
Oh, real quick. I just want to say, Joe, I think you're being a little bit generous earlier when you said she had B cups. I'm pretty sure those are A's.
Yeah, I was gonna correct you on that too. I was just like, those were not B's, bro. Those were not B's.
Sorry.
I've seen some
those
B's.
Like
I felt some B's.
As a matter of fact, when she was naked and walked towards the front of the boat, the only thing that ran through the back of my head was just, wow, she has a real long ass day ahead of her, doesn't she?
Let's put it this way. I could take my shirt off and I got bigger tits than she had. Okay. So there you go. You're right. I'm sorry.
So as I was saying,
old people.
Go follow us on Facebook. If you're listening to our Facebook, listening to our YouTube right now, we have YouTube at Green Arrow Media. We have a YouTube page for Green Arrow Media. We also have a YouTube page for Is This Real. Go listen to our Spotify for Is This Real and Green Hour Podcast. We have an episode coming out next week for Green Hour Podcast. It's Haunted Houses. And next week, and we'll break this up into 2 episodes, and we do have a big major announcement coming Halloween night. Drop Halloween night. We'll tell everybody. We are going live Halloween night on Facebook and on YouTube again. But the next 2 episodes for Is This Real, we're going to dive deep, and this may take a while, but we're going to dive deep into the Conjuring universe.
Okay, that works.
For the last 2 episodes of October for Halloween month.
Now, is that going to be... give me the names of the movies, because I'm only Conjuring 1 and Conjuring 2.
Well, Conjuring 1, Conjuring 2, The Nun, the Annabelle movies, all of them.
All right, I didn't see the Annabelle movies, and I didn't see The Curse of whatever.
Yorna. That's how you pronounce it, right, guys?
No.
La Llorona?
There you go.
Thank you.
One.
All right, so I got to brush up on those movies. The Conjuring 1 and 2, that's not a problem.
Wait, that's part of that?
Yeah, the Curse of
La Llorona.
La Llorona. Hey, I said that right.
There you go. Honorary Spanish.
Hey, give me my race.
It's pretty much.
Oh, not the racist there.
La Llorona.
What a fucking jerk off that is. Now we just lost the entire fucking continent of Cuba.
Cuba?
The gays aren't listening, the blacks aren't listening, the Cubans ain't listening. What's he gonna fucking alienate?
Okay. Yeah. So
all of them.
That's a part of the Conjuring universe. I have not seen that movie either.
I didn't know that.
So then we're gonna have to watch it this week. I just want to say it was really good. Eric, having you back in the booth. I love when you're here. Josh, you're welcome anytime. I would love to have you back as many times as you want to come back. It's great.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for actually inviting me for this.
It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed this, guys. So
So again, keep listening to our podcast, and I think this will be a good live thing.
I just want to say one thing before you sign off. I want to say, whoever's listening to these podcasts, thank you so much. You're helping us out. You
are loved. You are appreciated.
Yeah, I mean,
very positive energy to you, and we hope you're all doing great.
I know it sounds like a lot of fun, and it is. We do have a lot of fun, but there's a lot of work that we do to put this out there.
He said do.
And fuck you.
You owe me a soda, Jinx, motherfucker.
That's our budget. Everybody gets a soda. So
that's the budget.
A
for
cold
the podcast.
soda's more. I'm sorry, guys.
That's the budget for the podcast.
That's the budget for the
A can
podcast.
of soda.
So good night, everybody, and thanks for listening.
Buenas noches.
Good night. Good night.